The Valorian fleet hung in tatters above the burning colonies of Epsilon Prime. Commander Winnie Chen gripped the armrest of her command chair, watching through the view screen as another frigate exploded in silent brilliance against the void. The Crush Armada had them surrounded, 300 warships to their remaining 47. It wasn't a battle anymore. It was an execution. Shields at 12%. Lieutenant Eric Vasquez reported from the tactical station, his voice steady despite the sweat beading on his forehead. We've lost the Thunderhawk and the Meridian. The rest of the fleet is requesting permission to retreat. Winnie's jaw tightened. Retreat meant abandoning 2 million colonists to the Kresh. She'd seen what the insectoid warriors did to populations they conquered. The holo feeds from Tarsus for still haunted her dreams. Mountains of bones. Entire cities rendered to ash, negative, she said. We hold the line. The bridge crew exchanged glances. They all knew what holding the line meant. They'd be dead within the hour. Another volley of plasma fire raked across the Defiant's hull. The ship groaned, metal screaming as bulkheads buckled. Eric's console erupted in sparks, and he dove away just in time, his uniform singed. Hull breach on decks 7 through 9. Someone shouted. Winnie closed her eyes. They'd fought well. Humanity had fought well for 3 years against the Kresh Dominion. But the insectoids bred faster, built faster, killed faster. The Galactic Council had abandoned them months ago, declaring humanity's conflict an internal territorial dispute. The other species, the Valorians, the Centauri, the peaceful Lyrans, had all offered thoughts and prayers, but no fleets. There was only one option left. The option everyone had warned her never to take. Eric, she said quietly, open a quantum channel, encrypted, authorization Chen Delta 7. Eric looked up from his damaged console, his dark eyes widening. Ma'am, you don't mean do it. His fingers hesitated over the controls, then began entering the sequence. The bridge fell silent except for the distant rumble of explosions and the hiss of venting atmosphere somewhere in the ship's bowels. Channel open, Eric whispered. But Commander, they haven't answered a hail in 100 years. Every species that's tried to contact them has. I know what happened. Winnie cut him off. She leaned forward, speaking clearly into the comm. This is Commander Winnie Chen of the Human Colonial Defense Fleet. To any Ishkari vessel within range. We are under attack by the Kresh Dominion. 2 million civilians are about to die. We request aid. Please. Static answered her. Long, empty static. The Kresh bombardment intensified. On the view screen, the enemy dreadnought moved into position above Epsilon Prime's largest city. Its bombardment cannons began to glow, shields failing. Someone yelled. Eric abandoned his station and moved to Winnie's side. It was worth trying, he said softly. At least the space around them rippled. It wasn't a jump signature. It wasn't anything in the tactical databases. Reality itself seemed to shudder. And then they appeared, 3 ships that made the Kresh dreadnought look like a child's toy. Each vessel was a twisted sculpture of black metal and crimson energy. Organic and mechanical fused into something that shouldn't exist. They radiated wrongness. The Ishkari had arrived. The bridge crew collectively held their breath. Winnie had read the reports, the legends. The Ishkari were the galaxy's boogeyman. A species so violent, so terrifyingly effective at warfare, that the other races had signed the Treaty of Silence centuries ago, agreeing never to contact them, never to provoke them, never to acknowledge their existence. They were death incarnate. And Winnie had just invited them to the party. For 5 heartbeats, nothing happened. Then the lead Ishkari vessel pulsed, and the Kresh dreadnought simply came apart, not exploded. Came apart. Its molecules separated, its atoms scattered across space like dust and wind. Sweet merciful, Eric breathed. The remaining Kresh fleet turned their guns on the Ishkari ships. 300 warships unleashed everything they had. The plasma bolts, kinetic rounds, and fusion missiles struck the Ishkari vessels and dissipated harmlessly, absorbed into the strange energy fields surrounding them. Then the Ishkari returned fire. It wasn't like any weapon system Winnie had ever seen. Beams of impossible darkness lanced out, and where they touched Kresh ships, those ships aged 1,000 years in seconds. Metal corroding, systems failing, hulls crumbling to rust. Other weapons caused Kresh vessels to fold in on themselves. crushed by gravity wells that appeared from nowhere. In less than 3 minutes, the Crush Armada was gone. Not retreating, gone. The bridge was silent except for labored breathing and the beeping of damaged systems. On the view screen, the 3 Ishkari ships hung motionless. Then Winnie's comm crackled to life. The voice that spoke was like grinding stones, like the scraping of claws on metal, like screams translated into language. Humans, it said. We remember you. Your ancestors were warriors when ours walked among the stars. You carry the old fire. Winnie found her voice. Thank you for, do not thank us, the voice interrupted. We came because we were curious. It has been long since any species was brave enough or foolish enough to call us. You fight a worthy enemy. We will allow you to continue your war. Prove you deserve the fire you carry. Wait, Winnie said. You're leaving? The Crush will send more fleets. Yes, the voice said. And somehow Winnie could hear the smile in it. And you will fight them. You will bleed. You will adapt. You will overcome. Or you will die. That is the way of worthy species. Eric stepped forward. What about the Galactic Council? The species that abandoned us? A long pause. They have grown soft, complacent. They will not intervene in your conflict because they fear disrupting their precious peace. The voice became something darker. Tell them the Ishkari have chosen to watch humanity's war with interest. Tell them we are curious about the outcome. They will understand what that means. The 3 ships began to fade, reality rippling around them. Fight well, humans. We will be watching. And then they were gone, as suddenly as they'd appeared. Winnie sank back into her command chair. Around her, the bridge crew slowly began moving again, checking systems, coordinating damage control. Eric pulled up the long-range sensors. Commander, you need to see this. I'm picking up quantum communications across the entire sector. The Council species there. They're mobilizing, sending aid, fleets, resources, everything. Winnie allowed herself a small smile. The Ishkari hadn't saved humanity. They'd done something far more valuable. They'd reminded the galaxy why humans were dangerous. Dangerous enough to call the one species everyone feared. Desperate enough to roll the dice with extinction. And now the galaxy knew. Humanity wouldn't go quietly into the dark. All ships, Winnie commanded. Begin recovery operations. Get me casualty reports and status on the colony. And someone get me a line to Admiral Chen on Earth. What should we tell him? Eric asked. Winnie looked out at the stars, at the vast and suddenly much more attentive galaxy. Tell him the war just changed. And tell him humanity just reminded everyone why we're still here. The Defiant limped toward the planet below, battered but unbroken. Behind them, the stars watched with new eyes, some fearful, some respectful, all wary. Humanity had called the Ishkari and survived. That alone made them worth watching, worth fearing, worth respecting. End.